Missy said that the mask can't stray. Hey, me burn the fire every day. Hey, touch a lit it up right away. Hey, me say, tell you certain things the Rasta nah do. And me get tell them the bingy nah do. Them do it so much, they may no do. But me get tell them say I'm a nah do. Tell them me no follow, me no follow, me no both, me no dada. No live like no swallow. Hey, me no follow, certain things me no swallow. So me burn the fire. Hey, this a Rasta I'm no type of hoe. And me love the front, me no take it back door. When them a go fast, this a Rasta go slow. When them a say gun, me say more girls galore. So, watch it, make me tell you some more. No for them shaky, them love them nose. We get me eye, them a crack overdose. Them a say we do, but we me is a don't. Cause certain things the Rasta nah do. Hey, me got tell you the bingy nah do. Them do it so much, them ain't no do. But me got tell you say I'm a nah do. Cause me no follow, me no both, me no dada. No live like no swallow. And me no follow, certain things me no swallow, yo. So me burn the fire. Hey, me no have no icy man. As far as the eye can see is woman. No licky, so them run gone, yam. So them get these 2 pieces from dirty hand. Hey, listen ladies, gentlemen. Me nah spend me money, try hope you no one. Never see me thief, so you nah see.
A very pleasant good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, just across the street from the United States Embassy. We're here in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Ethiopia. We're here as Rastafarians from Jamaica, joining the struggle with our brother. The same way we joined with the struggle in South Africa and toppled apartheid. This is what we're doing today. Today is very important, not to just Ethiopia, but to the world. The African people spread right across the diaspora. We are troubled, we are concerned, and that's why we came out in our numbers today, raising the flag of Rastafari, raising the flag of justice for all people. Ladies and gentlemen, as I raise my staff, and of course, I'm going to raise my rod, because Ethiopia shall stretch forth his hand. We're here with a sister. What is your name, my sister?
I am Empress Teshenge.
Empress Teshenge. Come over closer. I know your purpose because we're here with one voice, with one accord. How do you feel about the atrocities that they're trying to put down on Ethiopia?
Well, my brother, from you see, I and I out here, you must know the pain where I and I feel, I and myself, you see. Them are trying, and them trying to conquer Ethiopia again, making war inside that they are turning Ethiopia against one another, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You cannot conquer Ethiopia, never and not. Yes, I, Rastafari.
As the world knows, Ethiopia is the only place on earth that was never colonized. Ethiopia is a sacred part of our being as Rastafarians and as Africans. So we pledge our support. And we'll be here in our numbers to show those powers that be that we are not afraid of them. His Imperial Majesty says in this 21st century, David shall still slew Goliath. Empress Teshenge, thank you so much for talking to me.
Give thanks, brother.
As the journey continues, ladies and gentlemen, here we are speaking with our brothers and sisters right across the street from the United States Embassy. A room stands in solidarity, and as my teacher and Jedna, I know why you're here this morning, but I want the world to know how you feel about the atrocities that has been happening in Ethiopia, in Jamaica, and all over the world, affecting our African people.
Well, as we say, no to neo-colonialism. Colonialism had stifled the progress of the African people for over 500 years. The Honorable Marcus Garvey, who fought against it in America, was deported because they didn't want to hear that voice. Well, we are the cubs of Marcus Garvey, and we are loose, and we are defending the rights of Africa, to the sovereignty of every African nation without interference from any colonial force. USA, Europe, NATO, you name it, all of them shall keep their hands out of Africa's business. I am here today in solidarity with the Ethiopian people to ensure that America cannot interfere in the business of the Ethiopian people and do it unmolested. We shall let them know, and we are here in front of the US Embassy to let from the ambassador to the President of the United States know that we are saying no more, no more, no more.
No more. That's what we're saying. We're sovereign people, and we're here to say no more. And our hashtag is hashtag no more. No more. No more. No more.
mineral warm. But very good now.
Sister Marcy, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
I know you're here on the battlefield as usual.
Yes.
What is flowing through your mind at this particular moment?
That we are strong, we are positive, and we are not gonna let USA think they can win over Ethiopia at no time. It was never colonized and it will not be colonized.
Women out in their numbers showing their support. Daughter, what is your words on this?
Oh, Ethiopia, home, here we come. It cannot be colonized. We are
Never.
here, we are here, standing strong for Ethiopia, our homeland.
Mama.
Rise and shine, Rastafari, Rastafari. Can't give up the struggle, can't give it up.
Come here, Mama. You're here, representing in the fullness. How you feel today? How does today make you feel when we are together like this to protect what is right?
Feelings, man. What else? What the most I cast this? So we have to give thanks.
Give thanks. The journey continues as we move right along.
My brother,
Jawari, how are you?
I am happy to see you.
Supporting the struggle as usual.
24/7.
How you feel today and what are the reasons why you're here?
Because injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So from the Ethiopians are feeling injustice, I am feeling it. And we all should feel it and react against it. And African nations need to come together and have their own armies to chase out Babylon out of their country. All this division business must stop. African nations must have a unilateral army to fight the forces of colonialists in Africa. We need that.
We need that.
Yes.
Africa unity. That is it.
Africa unity.
That is what I'm speaking of. Africa unity. Now when we forward together, we hard for break.
Strength. Strength. What's up? As we gather here today in our numbers, we're here with royalty. What are your thoughts? What's flowing through your mind as your hashtag no more has to be reverberated and shouted all over the world? Why do we need an hashtag that says no more at this time?
No more hashtag is very important because we need peace, unity and solidarity in Ethiopia. This no more hashtag movement is to call for Ethiopia to stand as one country. No more TPLF, no more the Western media involvement, no more the US involvement, no more the Western power involvement. Please, let us keep peace, unity and love in Ethiopia.
Well said, my sister. Well, the struggle continues and we're here in full solidarity with Mama Africa.
Yes, Jamaica, Ethiopia, always Africa, the Caribbean, we're one people. We continue to support each other and we call our support for all the diaspora and the Caribbean people in Jamaica and all over the Caribbean.
Thank you so much, my sister.
You're welcome.
My brother, speak up, my brother, speak up.
Yeah, man, in solidarity, you know?
Yeah.
Ethiopia, you know? Yeah, man, for unity, you know, we need, you know, as Rasta. Babylon have to fall, you know. So
they're falling right now as we speak.
Good over evil, you know?
Every time.
Good over evil.
All right.
Rastafari.
Here we are again, ladies and gentlemen, with Rasti. We're right across the street from the United States Embassy. We're here with Rasti, who just came back from Ethiopia. Rasti, how are you today, and what brings you here?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
So we stand in the presence of all What brought I here today is to show my support to the Ethiopian government. The voice of the people, the voice of the Ethiopia. And our oneness, the Ethiopian majority, Ethiopian people. I just came back from Addis Ababa and Statue there, my Empress and I. And we'll be going back shortly. We just come to sort out some business and we'll be back. This is yard, but Ethiopia is home. And then as Rasta step into Ethiopia, Ole, airport, immigration officer called us out to the line. Resident. My first. So we were taken away for 500 years. That was my first trip forward. To see the immigration, recognize that and I went for it. That warmed my heart. Here to liquidate assets. I must inform everyone out there, let not your heart in trouble. Right now, government of Ethiopia is taking back all
gospel song for 2021.
One by one. We give thanks for that. And we are saying, I sat my brak, Amina Bala, to America and Britain. Leave Ethiopia alone. Leave us alone. We know you've been trying from the beginning of time to conquer Ethiopia, but Ethiopia cannot be conquered. Ethiopia belongs to the King of Kings, the conquering lion of the tribe of Galilee.
I'm here with famed attorney at law, Brother Ras Miguel. He's concerned, I am concerned, the world is concerned about what's happening in Ethiopia. As you know, Ethiopia was never colonized and can never be colonized. Brother Miguel, good morning. Brother Miguel is one of the organizers of the event. His voice is there on Best FM, and you can hear him on Bitter Sugar speaking for the rights of the people. How do you feel today, and why are we here using the hashtag No More?
Today is the International Day of Human Rights. 10th of December is the International Day of Human Rights, started from 1948. So we didn't just pick a day, we picked the International Human Rights Day. That's one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is that we are seeing a deliberate strategy of controlling the narrative of what goes out to mislead the people in the world of what's actually taking place in Ethiopia. So when we say hashtag no more, we're not just talking no more in terms of the bloodshed and the violence, but we're talking in terms of the twisting of the narrative, the falsification of the narrative, of trying to paint up Prime Minister Abiy as a warmonger. Everybody, he received the Nobel Peace Prize shortly after because he went to the Eritreans and says, no, we can't continue this war. Let's end it now. And the Eritreans said, yes, it's not benefiting neither of us. And when we end the war, the resources will benefit Eritrea and the resources will benefit Ethiopia. You know, and so on. So they are now trying to paint him up as a warmonger. Ethiopians, members of the central government, were murdered in their sleep. Soldiers were in their pajamas, they were not fighting because the northern army of Ethiopia, because of the war with Eritrea, so they had maintained a force up there. When the war ended, they started withdrawing the troops from that region. But there was still some troops there. And one night, at a place named Maziri. The Tigrians, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, which is not representing the majority of Tigrayans. They murdered the soldiers in their sleep, in their pajamas. So Abiy had to move, he had to act. And having acted, having disciplined Mekelle, the capital of Tigray, and so on, he withdrew and unilaterally declared a ceasefire. The Tigrayan TPLF now utilized that opportunity to regroup. Not so much to go and confront Abiy, but to go to the adjoining provinces, like the province of Afar, and murdered lots of the elders, lots of the children, and lots of the old women, and raped many of the young girls. And so Abiy now had to go back now into war. And this time, he has chosen to lead his troops in battle.
From the front?
Definitely. It's an Ethiopian tradition. The emperor doesn't sit and order the people to go. The emperor leads. Haile Selassie leads. Menelik leads in battle. Johannes, all of these great emperors led their troops. Caleb, all of them led their troops in battle. And Abiy knows that tradition, and he has gone to the front to lead his troops in battle. And they are defeating the Tigrayans. They are going to defeat the Tigrayans. The Tigrayans is just 6% of Ethiopia. You see what I mean? But they are backed now by the Egyptians, who want to destroy the dam, the Grand Renaissance Dam. Because the damming of the Nile River will lead now that Ethiopia will be self-sufficient in energy. And if you're self-sufficient in energy, you're talking about full industrialization. And not only will Ethiopia be industrialized, Ethiopia will be able to export energy to at least 10 other African countries around the area. You know what I mean? And when this is crucial because the great Chant, one of the great philosophers and intellectuals of Africa, and Diop told us from before 1960, the day we dam the Nile, the Niger River, the Limpopo River, and these rivers, that is when we are going to industrialize Africa. The difference with damming the water and getting your energy is not like every time we find oil, we invite them to come draw it out. If we find gas, they draw, we invite them to draw it out. That is why they overtold President Jema in Gambia. Because when they went to speak with him, the oil companies, they offered him 15%. So he thought the 15% was 15% for you and 85% for my others. So he drew up the document. You know, he believes it, but white man will come offer him. Yes, so they drew the document. When they went to sign the document the next day, now they say, oh, Mr. Minister, please remember now. So what? Tear it up. So leave my country within 24 hours. He said that the oil stay in the ground. I will send my students to go and study abroad, and when they come back, they will learn how to draw the oil out of the earth. Let it stay there. You are offering me 15 and 10%. You're insulting. So until Africa reach that level, you know what I mean? Because African resources are going out now. The oil in South Sudan is going to the Chinese for nothing. The diamonds and the pearls of Angola is going out for nothing. The gold and so on of Zimbabwe and South Africa are going out for nothing. Africa is still poor. We still have poor people using the beaches as toilets. And the resources are there. So, you know, we got to get it going now.
I'm so happy to see the turning out of Rastafarians.
Yes.
And Rastafarian is inevitably connected to you.
Yes.
What was the feedback on your radio when you announced that we were going to support Ethiopia? What was the kind of feedback you get from there?
Very, very, very powerful.
Very powerful.
Very powerful. Both locally and internationally. We get a lot of calls from abroad of people who want to be here and so on and so forth. So, you know, that has been very, very good, very powerful and so on.
Well, Brother Miguel, as you know, we're always on the battlefield, we're always on the forefront of this struggle.
Yes.
And the journey continues, and we'll not give up hope. We know we must win. This is Imperial Majesty says in the 21st century, David should still slew for life. So the struggle continues. We know you're going to be speaking later on the podium. We're looking forward to recording that piece of history.
Yes.
And thank you for talking to me as usual. Thank you so much.
And even if I don't speak up here, just by helping to organize and plan and progress.
Your work is done.
Yeah, not done, but yes.
Yes.
It's gratifying.
It's gratifying.
Absolutely gratifying.
Thank you so much for talking.
Every time. It's always my honor. And I am every time. Nice. Yes, sir. Whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, here you are with the stalwart. If he's not here represented, I don't feel good because I'm thinking I'm somewhere else. I'm not on the right front of the battle. Rastafarians is always there for the cause of our people, not just in Jamaica but right across the universe. Now we just touched home of Rastafari, Ethiopia. He's here representing in the fullest. What are your thoughts today, Rastafarians, of the atrocities as now taking a stronghold, wanting to take a stronghold in Ethiopia?
Well, big story. First, I think it's a continuation of the aims and objectives of the EU American system from day one. Ethiopia is the only country that was never conquered, either by Islam nor by European power. And the fact that in 1896 they tried and failed at the Battle of Adowa. In 1935 home again tried, but Ethiopia was partially occupied between 1935 to 1941. But again they failed. So in this time, you know, the beast always has to develop ways and means how to conquer that which they want but never conquer. So all they are doing now is finding ways and means of trying to do that. But like the psalmist said, Ethiopia stretched forth her hands only to the Almighty. And I am an Ethiopian in the diaspora, African Ethiopian in the diaspora. We are ready because we have blood and fire warriors. And whatever it needs to do that I have to do to keep Ethiopia free, and I will do it. The fact that according to the United Nations Charter, according to international law, every people, every nation have a country with the right to self-determination. So the fact that one of the beginning of the Nile, because there are two Niles, White Nile and the Black Nile. One of those Niles start in Ethiopia, Lake Tana. And if it happens that Ethiopians want to dam the Nile, not to cut off all the water going down, but to do something with the water that will benefit Ethiopia, then Ethiopia as a country has the right to do that. Nevertheless, as I know the so-called overthrow of His Majesty in 1975, and Mengistu being there, it was the Tigrayan people who organized a liberation movement that got rid of Mengistu. They were in control of the government over a period of time. But then there was an election, and the people voted who they wanted to vote for. So the Tigrayan movement was no longer the government of Ethiopia. Rather than succumbing to the will of the people, what they tried to do was to try to take Ethiopia by military force. The people objected to that. But America and the Western world always trying to find a loophole how to divide Ireland. So what they are doing now, and what the Ethiopian government have found out and have concrete evidence, is that the US, and even through the US, have been funding the Tigrayan liberation. And I can no longer call it Tigrayan liberation. Because it is no longer geared toward the liberation of Ethiopia, but rather to impose themselves on the Ethiopian people. So the fact that the situation is what it is, people crying foul, it's out against US all over the world. I and I as Jamaican here, where the culture of Rastafari originates, and I cannot sit by and hear the world denouncing the Euro-American system, and then we can't do anything. So we have to show our solidarity with the Ethiopian cause. Ethiopia yesterday, Ethiopia today, and Ethiopia tomorrow. One Ethiopia for I and I are. Not two Ethiopia or three Ethiopia. Or a set of people in Ethiopia want to take control of Ethiopia, but they are only being used as a puppet to the Euro-American regime and system. So I and I are here now to show our solidarity and call upon I and I brothers and sisters all over the world that the time has come when we have to rally around the red, green and blue like what I and I have been always doing to ensure that Ethiopia stay free. Because Ethiopians, a lot of people not aware of the resilience of Ethiopia. When Mussolini invaded Ethiopia in 1935, Mussolini had greater weapons than Ethiopia because Italy is a manufacturer of weapons. Ethiopia is not a manufacturer of weapons. And yet when the situation was brought to the League of Nations by Haile Selassie himself, they refused to assist Ethiopia. Yet, it was a part of the Constitution of the League of Nations that whenever any country that is a member of the League was unwarranted attacked, then the League should come together in defense of the Ethiopia, of the country that was victim of aggression. In that case, it was Ethiopia, but Ethiopia was a black country. So the League of Nations did not come to Ethiopia assistance. Rather what they did was to say we won't sell arms to Ethiopia and we won't sell arms to Italy. But Italy didn't want it, it was not needed because they were manufacturing. Ethiopia needed arms. So His Majesty told them to be, they didn't assist Ethiopia. And His Majesty told them today it is Ethiopia, tomorrow it will be you. That was 1936. By 1937, Poland was overrun by Hitler. And then the Axis what came about with Germany, Italy, and Japan. So, what happened now by 1939 is that France was invaded also by Germany. Now then, they realized what Ethiopia was saying, what His Majesty was saying, when he said today it is Ethiopia, tomorrow it will be you, because the whole of Europe now was threatened with Nazism, because just like how fascism, Italian fascism was in Ethiopia, Germany's Nazism under Hitler was about to take over Europe. So that was the only time when they realized that now, here we are, England and the Western world, so to speak, and Ethiopia have one common enemy in the form of the Axis. So today again, like I said, that which they never accomplished in time gone, they are still trying it today because of what Ethiopia signifies, of what it symbolizes and what it stands for. Ethiopia, being the country that was never conquered, laid the foundation for the decolonization of Africa. The victory of Ethiopia over Italy in 1941 marked the beginning of the end of colonialism in Africa. So today, we will rally with our red, gold and green we will rally with Ethiopia because we are blood and fire brethren and sisters. And we mean not to free Ethiopia because Ethiopia is a free people, but to keep Ethiopia free. So, because basically that's why we are here.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from Ras IFB. Resilient, tough, a warrior on the battlefield. I see and feel your passion every time you're there from the ganja industry. You're dedicating your life in fighting for the struggle of Rastafari who are beaten in the Carl Gardens. And you stood on the forefront of many battlegrounds. What keeps you going? What do you say to your many fans right across the world who have been watching you? Because I have numerous videos of you on my YouTube. What do you say to your fans that sees that undying spirit? How can you further motivate them?
Well, I will quote back to my word. And it said to be that tomorrow it will be you. But he also said throughout history, the inaction of those who should have and could have acted, the indifference of those who should have known better, and the silence of the voice of justice when it matters more, that enable evil to triumph. So I, as a Rasta man, knowing what truth and right is, knowing the sacrifices that I and our ancestors, including I and our freedom fighters here in Jamaica, people like Paul Bloom, Sister Nanny, Sam Chant, Marcus Garvey and so on. And we look over in Africa, we see people like Jomo Kenyatta, Gideon Kimati, Lumumba, Mandela and others. They have stood up. Some have lost their lives, some have lost their liberty, but they stood up for what they knew was right. So if I was to turn my back on what I know is right, I would be betraying the spirit of my ancestors. So I have to keep doing what is the will of our people, what is the will of our ancestors, to keep fighting for freedom, keep fighting for equal rights and justice. Because if I was to turn I back on Ethiopia, we don't know when America is going to invade Jamaica because America has some form of control in Jamaica. But if the time should come, the time I as Rastafari, with our people's support, to take control of Jamaica politically. And I don't know what will happen because America don't want any other country or any country in the American hemisphere, so to speak, to do anything that is not the American wishes. When we look at Haiti, and the US claim that they are the protector of democracy, Aristide was democratically elected as president of Haiti. And what America did? Because Aristide called on France to pay back some of those money that Haiti had been paying from 1825 to 1947 to France. France, as a part of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is America's biggest ally, they went to US. And the next thing Aristide that he was on a plane. So as such, we know that America will not stand by and watch any other leadership, any governance, any form of governance in the Americas that is opposed to their way and their imperialistic and colonial, neo-colonial nature. So we have to keep fighting, we have to keep standing up as a source of inspiration to others out there who know what truth and right is. Sometimes not that strong, but I and I have to be here as that strength and that motivation.
That's why our hashtag says no more. No more. No more. Thank you so much, Brother Ras IFB. Speaking so eloquently, ladies and gentlemen, and speaking from his heart about how he feels for all these people, not just in Jamaica, but all over the world. The struggle continues as we go and take in Brother Miguel Lawn on the the stage.
And as I step off the stage, brothers and sisters, I want to introduce Sister Yodit. Sister Yodit Hilton. I want her to come up. She is the consulate for Ethiopia in Jamaica. She has come to live on our shores, and she has been working very hard to bring those Ethiopian principles to Jamaica. So we give thanks and praise, brothers and sisters. So let us give her a big round of applause, Sister Yodit Hilton, who has come to work with us. Give thanks, Sister Yodit.
Greetings to all. I'm glad to see all Jamaicans, Rastafarians, Ethiopians, Africans, all peace-loving people from across Jamaica and elsewhere gather here together. We are all here today in a peaceful rally in front of the U.S. Embassy to show solidarity with people of Ethiopia and government of Ethiopia. And we are here standing against the U.S. government support for the rebel group TPLF in Ethiopia. The position of the U.S. and their European allies in support of the rebel force and against the democratic elected government of Ethiopia is injustice unfair. The U.S. and its allies have threatened to impose economic sanctions on Ethiopia, and they will affect the poor and struggling people of Ethiopia and the economy of Ethiopia. We Africans in the diaspora, in Jamaica and the Caribbean are united, and today we officially join the Africa No More #NoMore movement to oppose the ongoing Western media disinformation campaign and threaten the Western economy warfare on Ethiopia. Jamaica and Ethiopia have always had a deep relationship, and even before the conflict and even before the solidarity protests. I believe this challenging time will improve our relationship between Jamaica, the Caribbean, and Ethiopia overall with Africa. Today, here in Kingston, Jamaica, we stand firm in solidarity with Ethiopia for peace, unity, independence, and territorial integrity. Please join African #NoMore movement, #NoMore, #Ethiopia Prevail. I also want to thank all the organizers to do this fabulous, fantastic job in putting together this peaceful rally. This is in solidarity with our people back home in Africa. Therefore, I must thank all the Rastafarian brothers and sisters, the Ethiopian community here in Kingston, Jamaica, for putting this peaceful rally. I thank all እግዚአብሔር ይስጥልኝ እግዚአብሔር ኢትዮጵያን ይጠብቅልን ኢትዮጵያ ሁልጊዜ አንድ ናት ኢትዮጵያ ታሸንፋለች አሜን
Let's give her a big round of applause, brothers and sisters. As she sends the message straight to the government of Ethiopia and to let them know what we are doing here. It is sad that we have a government here that has kept silent right throughout. But we are not surprised because this government of Jamaica is more loyal to Trump. Isn't that so, brothers and sisters? It's more loyal, only and them more loyal to Trump They go and sit at Mar-a-Lago and drink soup with Trump. A man who called black people despicable names. So this government ain't that. But we the people, brothers and sisters, are 100% in solidarity with the victory of Ethiopia. Isn't that so? Let me hear a big round of applause. Sister Yodit, I realize, Rastafari, give thanks.
We give thanks to our honorary personnel, Sister Yodit Hilton, for bringing greeting, solidarity on behalf of the people of Ethiopia, our people, her people, because we know that Ethiopia shall rise again and again. At this time, we bring forward a message from the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated, Rastafari Charter 37 from 33 Law Street, Central Kingston, Jamrock. And this is an open letter or a letter to Prime Minister Abiy. It says, Tana Yistilin, Honorable Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Abiy Ahmed. We wish to notify you, the entire Rastafari fraternity and Pan-Africanists in Jamaican territory are in full support of your noble stand against all forms of Jesuit financial and political tyranny. We are saddened to hear the tragic loss of innocent civilian lives in an unnecessary conflict created by outside Jesuit forces seeking to dominate Ethiopia by frivolous means. The entire Rastafari fraternity and Pan-Africanists in Jamaica are highly disturbed by the atrocities taking place on the holy soil of Ethiopia by Jesuit renegades and human rights violators. In threatening, this phone is just going haywire, you know, the touching, getting smaller, getting gone, threatening the stability of the area with warmongering Western mentality, as the West is known to create wars in interest of worthless and inflationary profit in society. Truly, our goal, financial problems, stem from Jesuit headquarters at the Vatican, on Holy See, and they are ones funding the TPLF opposition with worthless and inflationary US debt money. Therefore, as the Prime Minister of Ethiopia presently, we wish to advise you to charge and condemn the President of the US government at the UN Peace Treaty Organization for human beings to clear human rights breaches of Article 28 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Charter of Fundamental Equality. Article 28 states that everyone is entitled to a social and international order in which the international rights and fundamental freedoms set forth in the Declaration can be fully realized. Henceforth, under the Jesuit-created financial condition of every government operating within a debt-based system of bankruptcy, lack of financial intelligence, we must democratically unite in one human right accord to end global Jesuit tyranny. There are no legitimate reasons for brothers and sisters to initiate war, since financial freedom and social democracy is based upon the inherent dignity, priceless value found within all. In pursuant of the preamble of the UDHR Charter, which is in very foundation of international law, SILA. Diplomatically yours, Ras Gabriel Selassie, Bongo Trevor, Rastafari, chairman of the Ethiopian World Federation, and His Imperial Highness Lolras Mestin Haile Selassie, and the Universal Human Rights Ambassador at large for the Ecclesiastical Kingdom of Debrazzy. And this is copyrighted to CC to the Ethiopian Consulate and the US Embassy and the Nyabingi Center in Pittsburgh and the Rastafari houses in Kingston, Dogima, Warwick Hill, and the UN representative of Ethiopia. We want to give the EWF a nice round of applause in sending this letter to Prime Minister Abiy. Sending this letter to Prime Minister Abiy. So here we know, Nyabingi warrior. Okay. So here we have no Rastaman. We want the Bingy drummer them not to leave the platform, you know. Because it's drums and chant for the liberation as to what is happening here. I said the conquering lion. Come together, brothers and sisters. Most break every chain. Come together, chanters. Say the conquering lion. Most break every chain. I said the conquering lion must break every chain and divide the Yes, beloved, so today we make a solemn pledge, just like how we came together and conquered Mussolini forces, just as how we came together and conquered Prime Minister Crispy forces in the Battle of Adwa. Ethiopia is on the march for total unity and freedom. Hail! Hail! At this time, we're going to call forward another sister, hard-working sister in the Rastafari community. Yeah, and we call forward Sister Mitzi to just come and bring greetings to I family on behalf of the people of Ethiopia and Rastafari. Give thanks.
Yes, I greetings, beloved Ethiopian family, royal sons and daughters. We say give thanks. This is a really islandful day. You know, we got so many calls from Ethiopia this morning with ones sending love to the family here and appreciation for the solidarity with Ethiopia at this time. My sister Judith Hilton has asked me to read this press release on behalf of the Ethiopians here in Jamaica. Peaceful demonstration at U.S. Embassy in solidarity with Ethiopia. The peaceful demonstration planned for the U.S. Embassy on Friday, 10th December 2021, commencing at 10 a.m. until 1 p.m., is in solidarity with the people and the government of Ethiopia to restore law and order in its efforts to put down an armed insurrection from the rebel group led by the Tigray People's Liberation Front and against all forms of foreign interference in Ethiopia's internal affairs. The unrest in Ethiopia started when the TPLF admittedly and without provocation ambushed federal troops stationed in the border area to protect Ethiopia's northern border by the rebel forces led by the TPLF. Hundreds of officers and thousands of soldiers were captured and executed. The unrest has since spread to other regions of Ethiopia, with claims of atrocities observed in the conflict against the forces on both sides of the conflict. The fighting has resulted in the death of thousands of people and internal displacement of civilians in the affected regions, with the threat of starvation of millions of the displaced population. The Rastafari community is joined by Pan-Africanists, members of the Ethiopian community in Jamaica, and the wider population of peace-loving people across Jamaica and elsewhere, are upset at the unhelpful position taken by the United States and its allies, mainly in Europe, in support of the rebel forces and against the democratically elected government of Ethiopia. Specifically, the US and its allies have threatened to impose economic sanctions on Ethiopia. Of particular importance, however, is the threatened suspension of Ethiopia from participating in the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, which forms a critical part of Ethiopia's industrial, manufacturing, investment and growth activities. Suspension of Ethiopia would threaten the social and economic stability and complicate efforts at securing a just and lasting peace, which is the hope of the organizers of today's event. The organizers are therefore calling on the United States government to use its immense power and influence in a balanced way in order to secure lasting peace and stability in Ethiopia in the shortest possible time. We, the organizers of today's event, are concerned at the threat to the unity and territorial integrity of Ethiopia brought about by this conflict, and therefore are calling on all foreign intervention which undermines the prospects for peace, unity and territorial integrity of Ethiopia to cease such interference and to embrace our call for an honorable settlement of the dispute among Ethiopians. Give thanks. You know, as we stand in solidarity and we mobilize our energies and we mobilize our prayers for Ethiopia, I want us to remember the children especially. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of women and children who have been displaced, who are hungry. We pray for the healing. After the victory and the celebration, the healing and the restoration and the rejuvenation and the rebuilding of Ethiopia is all of us responsibility. Our Ethiopian family are going to be calling on us, and whatever it takes, Ethiopian brothers and sisters, we have to make sure that we answer the call. A lot of family members have been affected by this war. Unfortunately, it is Ethiopians fighting against Ethiopians. We are so pleased to hear that our beloved Lalibela is restored, and all the damage that has been done to schools and churches and homes and sacred sites, we pray for Ethiopia to be restored and the sovereignty to be maintained. Ethiopia will never be left out by imperialist forces, but we Africans will fight if it is necessary for the victory of good over evil. One perfect love, Rastafarians.
Give thanks, Sister Mitzi, and that letter should be on the table of Blyden. It should be on the desk of the United Nations, because that letter speaks to the situation that is occurring in Ethiopia. Once again, we want to give thanks. That was a powerful message. Another nice round of applause. Victory is ours by right. His Imperial Majesty told Africa long time ago that unity is our only accepted goal. He said we must put away tribalism, because if we don't put away tribalism, we open the doors to foreign intervention and the consequences. America, and we see all Egypt are come up against we. The Nile is ours and it belongs to Africa, and the source of the Nile can be shared among all. I mean, when Prime Minister Abiy said, listen, over 10 African countries will be benefited from the hydroelectricity. You think Europe want to know that? That Africa will have its own hydroelectricity to bring about industrialization of Africa in the 21st century, independent and free. That means Ethiopia is pulling its brothers and sisters up, and they don't want that to occur. They don't want that to happen. So we are just calling on, and we look at the liberation of Desi. I was looking at a video, and there was a general, he was just driving through Desi after they recaptured Desi from the TPLF. I think his name was Fana. And the amount of love I see the people of Desi was pouring out. You see all in Jamaica where we feel say man can't hug up man. In Ethiopia, man hug up man and it not have no negative connotation. I see people run out and hug the general in his car, in his jeep, hug him and kiss him because they felt joyful in the liberation of Desi from the armed forces of the TPLF. So we want to salute the warriors on the front line. It's a pity that's not fighting our brothers. But if the brothers take the side of the enemy, he has relinquished himself from being.
Sister Mitzi, how are you?
I am so blessed, my brother. So
that was a very powerful presentation, as always. And you came across so articulately and eloquently. But what is your personal feel of what is happening in Ethiopia? Sister Mitzi, personal feeling.
You know, my brother, to be honest with you, it is unfortunate what is happening because His Majesty's time in Ethiopia as emperor, he portrayed Ethiopia as one Ethiopia, as a united Ethiopia. He never spoke about ethnic groups. He never emphasized, you know, special groups of people based on where they were born, where they lived. He emphasized I and I, all of us as Ethiopians. So at this time, it's unfortunate that brothers are fighting against brothers. Brothers are hurting sisters, families are being destroyed, you know, so we pray for the restoration, we pray for that the sovereignty of this land of miracles can be restored and maintained, because they will always be jealous of Ethiopia. It stands as a beacon and as a light in Africa, and imperialist forces will always want to gain control. But we know that the conquering land will break every chain and give Ethiopia victory.
It is an honor as always, and to see women representing in force. There's a lot of women here today, ladies and gentlemen. That means they're concerned. When Mama Africa bleeds, the women of Jamaica and the Rastafarian movement bleed. Thank you so much, Sister Mitzi.
Put on your phone,
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are right across the street from the United States Embassy. We're here with the Queen herself, Queen Ifrica, representing. How are you today?
First thing, how you heart?
Well, I'm here.
We
give thanks.
You look like you're really coming around.
Thank you so much, Queen Ifrica. Thank you so much. I know you're concerned about what is happening. That's why you're here. Talk to us.
I praise His Imperial Majesty Emperor Selassie the first, for real, you know, our God and King, comes what may. And if Ethiopia is in problem, then I is in problem. So if the ones them say I must come stand up across from the big beast, America. Yeah? And just show the solidarity towards Ethiopia. His Majesty came to Ethiopia and said that Jamaica and Ethiopia are one. We are one people. And so therefore, knowing, so His Majesty said that I stand in that truth today. Out here, so on the battlefield, I fight for that cause, you know what I mean? Take your hands off of Ethiopia. And I say, I never been colonized before. So unity in Jamaica amongst Rastafari is unity in Ethiopia. It's because the house of Rastafari divided in Jamaica, while Ethiopia is now getting divided. So I and the Rasta community in Jamaica need to come together solid underneath the banners of Haile Selassie, Empress Medina. Hear that? To the powers of His Majesty.
Queen Ifrica, you speak so eloquently, and you're always on the forefront of justice. And we love that.
Yes, sir. We give thanks.
Women are coming out to support, because we've heard that women and children have been murdered in the process of taking over Ethiopia?
Well, it's the same colonial approach, you know. They brought it here to Jamaica and it was all about blood and separation of the families, of the black family. And so they have found a way to do it in Ethiopia. So we say to our black brothers and sisters in Ethiopia, as I hear all the Ethiopians saying, do not be tricked by the division of the West. Because it's I and I say that the West will perish, you know. So how come the West is the ones now that is calling the shots? And I must go forward to the focus of what it means to unify Africa, to stand together in I villages, in I families, in I religions, even in differences. And to know that to protect Ethiopia is all of I responsibility as Ethiopia, so Tigray, Eritrea, anywhere the item there in the surroundings is one Ethiopia for the sake of keeping Ethiopia non-colonized. See the big picture and use your phones for what they are intended. His Majesty was all about technology and advancement of the future. Use it to show the greatness of Ethiopia, to show who Ethiopia and what Ethiopia is and what Ethiopia can do, united in one cause. Freedom, hashtag no more. Leave Ethiopia alone. Lightning.
Thunder.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from the Queen, the true Queen, Queen Ifrica, speaking on the atrocities that has been happening, of course, in Ethiopia and all over the world. We noticed the General himself. Tony Rebel, my brother. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I have to speak to you because you take your time out to be here to act in solidarity with our country, Ethiopia. What are your thoughts today, Tony? What's going on in your mind?
Well, what's going on in my mind is that Ethiopia always have enemies from long time. From the days of Mussolini, from the days of the Battle of Adowa. All of those times, the enemies peep their head up and show that they were against Ethiopia. Now when you have an enemy don't die. An enemy multiply. An enemy don't go away. So here comes the enemy once more. Once they see that Ethiopia is vulnerable, where they have a new Prime Minister in Dr. Abiy. Dr. Abiy is a young man, a man who loved by the people because the TPLF were ruling for over 27 years and the people decided that they wanted them no more. Here comes Dr. Abiy, and then they try now to see how they can dismantle Ethiopia by separating them, because when you divide amongst yourself, you must fall. And so what the West is doing is using the propaganda machine to kind of drive a narrative that Ethiopia is in trouble, but it's only Tigray is in trouble when Tigrayans are the aggressor. And so the Tigrayans are people who ruled Ethiopia. The people didn't want them, but they accepted through a legitimate reason Dr. Abiy. So how comes the West now is taking side with a terrorist group? You know what I mean? A government that is legitimate, a government that has been placed in ruling by the people, they are now behaving as if they want Abiy and the TPLF to negotiate. You can't negotiate with terrorists. You understand? Them supposed to come see what Prime Minister Abiy is doing. And then when we look and see Abiy out front, give up in prime ministership, go out front.
Leading from the front.
Leading from the front. We need our leaders here in the West to do that. So we say kudos, enough respect, honor to Abiy. And we say Ethiopia stretch forth her hands, and I am here right now to answer to that call. That is why I'm here.
Ladies and gentlemen, speaking with the iconic Tony Rebel. But I just have to add this real quickly, because we're on the subject and I might not get a chance to talk to you again.
Yes.
Robbie Shakespeare. What are your feelings on Robbie?
My feeling is sad, because Robbie Shakespeare is a man who I toured America with, and it was one of my greatest 2 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks I had with Sly and Robbie and others. And yeah, I want to tell you him drop out the day when bus killed my mother. My mother died on the 8th of December 1966. She was waiting on a bus, and the same bus where she waited for and kill her. And then the day after, the night, which was yesterday, was when Garnet still passed. So it's a time for me when all kind of things happen, and here comes Robbie past the same day as my mother. And yeah, man, it's a sad vibe, man, because it's a virgin where I love, and I know him love me too. And one of the things I like about Robbie is that when you're on him on the road and him playing bassline, him don't play about the same thing. Him always play something different. But anything him play, it's perfect and right. Yeah, man, rest in power, man. We love him, man.
What to hear this has been, we have seen some of our great leavers like Pee Wee Fraser.
Yeah, all that
Seiko Patterson.
All that too. Seiko, Pee Wee, because Pee Wee is a virgin where him full of so much love. He's such a giver.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, it is like, you know what I mean? I never like when I see certain things happen around him passing, in transition. But a man is only remembered by what he has done. So what he did is important, and that is enough for us to keep him in our memory and keep him in our heart as somebody great. Pee Wee. I'd never forget one time I go up a Fry house and Mama Joy the dead, and them give me a herb cake. See, the herb cake, them call it China, you know. And Culture Knox said, man, you eat no fight, you know. I said, country me come from, you know, me plant enough weed and smoke enough weed so me can eat it, and then me eat 2 pieces and it's sweet and take piece more. And when I go home, I fall asleep and then I wake up in other hours, and when I wake up, could I concentrate? I could not concentrate at all. As I start tell you about it now,
you lose concentration.
I lose concentration. And so I call Garnet still and some other people around, and we say, I could go doctor. Them carry me go medical associate. That them time them I tell you say the herb have me head away. And the doctor asks me, do you smoke herb? I said, sometimes. Said, do you take coke? I said, no. So I see a little smirk on his face, and him walk off like him a go around and back. Say, you don't have to give you an injection. So he said the time him go around there, so I say him have to give me an injection. All me dep on I said, blouse and skirt, me just a bust in this music city, and them a kill me like bad. And decide to nah, make them kill me. And then I run out and go tell Garnet. I said, Garnet, tell me nah, me not trust the doctor boy there. And everybody said, no, rebel man, I just hallucinate. And Garnet said, no, let me call Pee Wee. Call Pee Wee, and I decide to me I leave. I go down to Pee Wee, and Pee Wee just taught me writing on myself. Like him just tell me, say, yeah man, when time you eat the cake, it goes to your bloodstream faster than when you smoke it. Right now, and him say, just the other day, man, me drink some herb tea, and him start put himself in a my position that him get me comfortable, and him give me 1 drip and tell me to go home, go sleep. And that was it. I could have fly out the next morning, go do my show. So Pee Wee, a great soldier, great man, great medical practitioner. But he's not just a medical practitioner. He is somebody who have a heart, who understand people, great philanthropist. Yeah, man. So we rest in power, same way, man. The whole of the greats there. Give thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just spoken with the icon Tony Rebel. As you know, he's always on the battlefront.
Yes.
Queen Ifrica also on the battlefront. But I had to go back to Queen Ifrica because, Tony, I didn't ask her what you felt about Sly and Robbie. I mean, Robbie Shakespeare, losing Robbie Shakespeare.
No, man, Sly is great, and I need to call him and talk to him. But, yeah, Sly will continue to do what he has to do, because Sly is with Big Brother. And Sly can do him work, and once he can do your work, you will always go through. But that part of him that leave is a part that leave that will never come forward. You know what I mean? But there's no one way of doing things. So I love Sly and Robbie, man. Sly and Robbie are icons.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Queen.
Yes.
You know, I have to ask you about
Robbie.
Well, I had the pleasure of working with Sly and Robbie. I can be one of those artists who can say, Sly and Robbie backed me on stage. I was on tour on the West Coast. And it was with himself, myself, Tony Rebel, and some other artists. And I had the pleasure somewhere in San Francisco to walk out with a Sly and Robbie. And for me, that was most humbling. Yes, His Majesty. That was most humbling, you know, because that is our greatest. Where music is concerned, we are the maker of it.
And you know, we miss him. I mean, love him militancy, we love him badmanness, you know. And big up yourself, Sly, you're alive, but you know we love you, we eat the same kind of food, so kudos, you know.
One of the true queen, ladies and gentlemen. She's so
big up in a big stone.
enough love in her.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Queen, for this. I really appreciate it. Enough love. The journey continues, ladies and gentlemen. Queen Ifrica and Tony Rebel representing here at the United States Embassy. Rastafari giving their support for the atrocities of what is happening in Ethiopia. The journey continues.
Yeah.
And the clothes, darkness, them behind. You see that?
Ethiopia, Messi Jamaica. Hear that? Go down the road.
See
The Nile, you know, the white and the blue Nile, don't choose Sudan, you know, don't choose Ethiopia and Uganda, you know, so the watch is a peace side, water the new bone, brother. Nah, I get none of that.
Yeah, man, big up Ethiopia, my land, you know, continent, you know, my yard, yeah, just around up here, that's a little time, you know, but we are there, one way we walk, no visa, just like we go straight away yard. And back in
Move UK, UN and USA.
We must not stay here no longer than 6 p.m. This is a permit in my hand here from the Jamaican Chant. It says we must not stay any longer than 6 p.m.
Rastafarians.
The Most High's Imperial Majesty. Blessed the Empress Menen. beauty of the Almighty's plan. So when I hear the king, I hear the queen. Big up to the emperor and the empress. Blessed love. We thank for each and every one in the house today. And we say to America, fireball! Hot, hot, hot! Lightning and thunder! Fire! Take it or leave it, do I die? I've never made an application in all my life, and I don't have to, because the world is for Emperor Haile Selassie and Empress Menen and mine. Hi, hi, ho! Let be the Most High. Africa, oh Africa, my prayer for you is the first thing. Today, questions of you I am asking. Your task is long, sometimes seems disgusting, but with freedom, Africa shall be rewarded. Yes, forever rewarded. Even if they paint the streets thick as mud with black people's blood, with freedom the streets of Africa shall surely flood. You can know they start the liberation already, because we do yesterday at 1 o'clock, now watch this. Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. Love in the house, you know? And you know, while they're here, there's one called Madam Queen. I should well wrap it up. Madam Queen. Oh, Madam Queen, when I learned of your royal visit, I screamed, wondering if it's a dream, and what does your visit mean? Oh, Madam Queen, on this plantation, daily black people scream. I blood running as water downstream. On poverty and destruction, I lean. Of I African homeland, I dream. Of I African homeland, I minds can't be. Oh, Madam Queen, you know, in that land of paradise, we were kings and queens. We ate and drank of pastures green. Our lives was endless. Oh, we were so modest. The heaven and earth, I glorified as God and goddess. Roots and culture songs and anthems, I chant, and I never won.
Our beloved Ethiopian representative, Sister Judith Hilton. So all the sisters, you're wanted on this side. Rastafarians, remember, beloved, right after Rastafarians, I think we have accomplished our mission here. We have accomplished our mission. We're going to seal that too, because it's Human Rights Day, and we want to go up to Country Farmhouse where Rastafari sons and daughters are gathered. So all ones are invited, that we just go along up by Country Farmhouse after we're concluding. Another hard worker in the vineyard of Rastafari, in the person of Rastafari, to just take the curtains down as we go forward. Rastafari.
I flow to the tyrant and fallen. Just flow to your paradise. And my children are already fallen.
Boy, me sister that the mask and stray. Hey, me burn the fire every day. Hey, touch a little up right away. Hey, me say, tell you certain things you Rasta nah do. And me get tell them the bingy nah do. Them do it so much, them ain't no do. But me get tell them say I'm a nah do. Tell them me no follow, me no both, me no dada. No live like no swallow. Hey, me no follow, certain things me no swallow. So me burn the fire.